Welcome, everybody. This is the AP Top 25 Reaction Show. So let's start here at the bottom. Let's see if they... Let's have a refresh here. See if they have the others receiving votes. Here we go. Down here. Houston has 1. Michigan State 1. Wake Forest with 2. Iowa with 2. Texas Tech with 4. Tennessee with 6. Duke with 10. Kansas State with 10. Kentucky with 11. Stanford with 16. Cal with 19. Memphis with 21. Notre Dame with 57. Vanderbilt 83. Maryland 84. Colorado 93. And West Virginia 114. But, you know, this is what we get. How many voters are there? I have no clue. Add all these numbers and divide by. Okay, so LSU at 25. We know that they got obliterated on Saturday night against Mississippi State. I think Maryland should be above LSU right now. I really just don't think LSU should be at 25. Oregon. What is Oregon's body of work? First Oregon. Okay, let's check. See what Oregon's done. So they beat Nebraska and Wyoming so far, but I agree with where they have them at 24. I don't disagree. Utah at 23. They play Friday night. They beat in teams in big fashion, but this team, their body of work right now is they're combined. They've won 3 games. The combined wins of those 3 teams right now is 2, I believe. But we're not going to count North Dakota because they're an FCS. San Jose and BYU combined for 2 wins on the year. This team is a try to be. They will for sure lose 2 games down the road. And we'll not be thinking Utah as a college football playoff team down the road. This is a very tough schedule. Arizona on the road, you don't want to play there. They've got Stanford at home. You never know with that. Then they got to go USC. And they've got Arizona State at home. Then they got to go to Oregon. Then they've got UCLA at home. Then they've got Washington State at home. Then they've got to go to Washington. And they've got Colorado at home. This is, I think they will lose at least 2 of these games. So, very tough schedule for Utah. I 100% agree with San Diego State. And South Florida, I think South Florida should be above Florida right now. But again, this is the fourth poll that we've had. Does not matter. Louisville, 19. I honestly think Louisville should be down here. Florida should be ahead of Louisville. Louisville, did you see their game against Clemson? It was not very good. They barely had anything going. If you have a good defense against Louisville, they're not. Purdue's defense is not very good. North Carolina's defense is not very good. Clemson has a good defense. I can guarantee you, if they played Ohio State in the horseshoe, Louisville probably won't be on the top 25, but I don't know. There's just not enough respect for Clemson at this point. Washington State at 18. Now, they haven't played anybody yet, but 18 is a good place to put them right now. You're getting a lot of surely Washington State, they'll play Washington, they'll play Oregon. They'll have plenty of games that they have to play. I think they also have USC on their schedule. So Washington State, they could get in the top 10 by the end of the year. Even if they do lose one of those games, I think Washington State is a team that we forget about. If they got Washington, USC, they got plenty of games that they can win. Mississippi State at 17. I think they should be ahead of TCU right now. Actually, they're about the same. It's a 1 point difference. If you see right here, 532 to 5. No, it's not 1 point. It's 21. I'm blind. But look at this difference between these. This is over 100 points between 17 and 18. Clearly, Mississippi State. But I don't know. Mississippi State, they beat LSU. They manhandled LSU. TCU, they beat. They struggled this week. I think AP might have made a mistake to put them this high. They'll have a big test this week against Oklahoma State, but 16 is a little high for them. Auburn, about where they should be. Auburn will play some games. They haven't been tested to their full potential. They've got Alabama, Mississippi State, a lot of other teams left on their schedule that could beat them. Virginia Tech at 13. This is, I believe, a perfect place for Virginia Tech. 13, they're just outside of Florida State, but they're ahead of Miami. So now Florida State has not won a game, and they are in the top 12. That's a problem for me. I think Virginia Tech should be ahead of Florida State. I haven't seen really anybody work from Florida State so far. We're really working off of their preseason look. That's a problem for me heading into week 4, is we've not really seen Florida State dominate enough to be at the 12th position. They dropped only 1 from not playing. Georgia at 11. I can't really disagree. I think it was just because teams dropped that Georgia moved up. They didn't really do anything this week. Ohio State moves down. Who did they play? They've got UNLV next week, so they can't move up. They beat Army pretty big. Now, Army is probably not as good as Air Force, but I don't know why they are dropping in this bowl. Wisconsin, they moved up to 9. Wisconsin, they took care of BYU. They came in there. There wasn't really distraction. I think Wisconsin should be as high as they are or higher. Don't underestimate the Big Ten West. It is a good division that will. Michigan at 8. They dropped one spot, but they did struggle against Air Force. But Air Force isn't a bad team. We thought that Colorado was a bad team last year. Turned out Colorado was actually a pretty good team. And Michigan struggled with them. And then we realized at the end of the year it wasn't a bad team that they play. Washington at 7. I don't like respecting the Pac-12. We haven't seen enough of Washington yet. They've got Colorado this week, and that should be a good showdown to see who is really the king of. It's a rematch from last year's Pac-12 championship. They have nothing. Really, all we're going off of is the Rutgers game. Obviously Montana's not a good team. Fresno State's not a good team. They will be tested this week against Colorado. Saturday night on FS1. UCLA on their schedule. They've still got Wash State. They've got Stanford on their schedule. Really, there's crossover games. They've got Utah and UCLA. Do they play 3 crossover? Okay. They got ASU as well. I think they're lucky to play ASU. The easiest would probably be Arizona, ASU, and I don't know. You can't really get easy. Well, Colorado's also a crossover. They play 4 crossover games? I think they have 6 in a division, though. 6 in a division, and they play 4 crossover games. So there's 2 teams they don't play. And that's USC and Arizona. USC and Arizona. Arizona's a team you probably want to play. USC, they're lucky that they're not playing USC. You don't want to be playing USC, nor does USC want to play Washington. For the teams that want to avoid each other, they will avoid each other this year. But having UCLA and Utah at home, that gives you an edge. Having 2 of those, your hardest 2 crossover games are home. So Colorado is probably the 3rd hardest. Or the 2nd. I don't know. They've got to go to Colorado. I can't say much about Washington right now. Let's move on. Oklahoma State. We saw them against Pitt. I didn't really watch that Pitt game. It wasn't even close from the start. This is a Pitt team. What did they do last week against Penn State? I need to see this. What did they do last week against Penn? They got. Now, Pittsburgh went to Penn State. They put on a pretty good game. Now, they had a home game against Oklahoma State. They got manhandled by this Cowboys team. What is it? The ACC? getting weak, or did they get tired out from the Penn State game? Would it have been different if they played Oklahoma State then Penn State? I think a lot of players lost their confidence after they didn't do much against Penn State. I really thought there was going to be a good game between Pittsburgh and Oklahoma State, but it turns out Oklahoma State, they are legit. I think that the Oklahoma State-Oklahoma game, we didn't think was going to be as big as it. This is probably the biggest rivalry other than it probably is the biggest rivalry we're looking forward to if it happened this weekend. They play Oklahoma Week 10 in Stillwater. So it'll be Saturday, November 4th in Stillwater. That'll probably be one of the biggest weeks of the whole season. Have they released games yet for Week 5 in college football? Let's see what they got. Actually, let's finish off our top 25. I'm slow. USC, Texas was a struggle for them. I still struggle having Penn State above USC. I think USC is better than what the ranking shows. USC is good. Okay. I'd rather play Penn State than USC. I probably wouldn't. I'd probably rather play Penn State or USC, but I'd probably rather go to USC and have Penn State come to me. Like if one of those teams was coming to me, I'd rather Penn State come to me. But I'm not going into the whiteout. No, never go to that whiteout. No. Oklahoma at 3. It's respectable that they're dropping here. Tulane gave them a test. But it really is that Clemson's just better. They have a 2 top 15 wins. Clemson does. It's actually Louisville is 19. So that's 2 top 25 wins. 2 top 20 wins for Clemson. But Oklahoma only getting 1 top number 1 votes. Clemson got 15. You remember the end of the season better than the beginning. But somehow, so this is a 50-point difference. This is about a 20-point difference. A lot of people had Oklahoma at 2. A lot of people had Clemson at 1 and 2. So that's how these points really are discrepant in size. So this is a big difference between Oklahoma and Penn State. These are the top 5 are 5 different conferences. This is amazing how parity in college football this season. In the top 10, there's 4 Big Ten teams, though. 4 Big Ten teams in the top 10. They're all 8, 9, 10, and then they have the 4th place Penn State. The SEC at 11, ACC at 12. ACC's got 4 in the top 15, though. Big 12 has 2 in the top 6. Pac-12 has 2 in the top 7. So it truly is that every conference is respected by the AP. No, I do feel like LSU is biased because they're an SEC. And they should not be in the top 25 right now. But again, it's week 2. Doesn't really matter. Let's see if we have our schedule for next week. Week 5, actually. 2 weeks from yesterday. The game's in 13 days. Is it released? How many have they released? That's what I'm asking. I don't know who to actually go to. I just went to ESPN thinking that they'd have it because they have a lot of games. They haven't put any on here. But the highlight should be Clemson and Virginia Tech. And Mississippi State Auburn. So Mississippi State Auburn, that will probably be the SEC on CBS. Unless somebody's out of their mind. But USC plays Washington State Friday night. I think you should watch that game if you are on the West Coast. It should be amazing. You got a Friday night game. That it's not this Friday, not Friday this week, but Friday next week. Friday the 29th of September. I don't know if you can miss that game, but peace out, everybody. See you next time.